A quick disclaimer, just so I can make something painstakingly clear: do not harass this individual I'm covering. In fact, don't even try to interact with her because she's fucking dangerous. I am simply talking about my experiences. This should not be a springboard for anybody to be a fucking asshole. If I see anyone harassing her, I don't want you around me or my platform. Kindly fuck off. Secondly, I would like to state that with a lot of what I'll be discussing in this video is just testimony, so I implore you to take it with a grain of salt, as there isn't too many bits of evidence, as a lot of these events happen in VC, because I'm willing to admit what I'm saying is just testimony, and I'm not gonna lie like a certain disingenuous piece of shit. Anyways, on with the video. Content warning for discussions of suicide, discussions of mental abuse, discussions of emotional abuse, brief mentions of V Omega, brief mentions of liquid ooze, and brief discussion of predation. Hey, it's Lucifer. You can also call me Lucy or Jorbo. You may know me from my commentaries. You might be a friend of mine, or you might know me because a certain lizard bitch can't keep my name out of her fucking mouth for one goddamn second. So let's talk about it. So, you might be wondering who's the lizard bitch I'm talking about. Well, she is a certain user, next commentator to be specific, who goes by the name of Souvlivvy, who went under the previous handle of Umbrus. This former handle is something that'll be relevant later, I promise. And if you've been keeping up with anything related to the slideshow commentary community, she has been having these, let's just say interesting diatribes. Actually, calling them diatribes is me being generous. More accurately, she's been going off on these pathetic temper tantrums, crying about the SCC on Twitter and on Blue Sky. Said tantrums are akin to an angry wailing crack baby getting its iPad taken away. Brief recap aside of the public stuff, here's my history with her. I met Olivia back in late June to early July of 2024, when I had rejoined the SCC thanks to the help of my best friend Fractured Light. In the beginning half or so of knowing her, we were actually pretty damn close too. Hell, we were even planning to do a collab commentary at one point, and we would hang out pretty much every day. Things were actually pretty damn fun. And then the month of September rolled by, and this was easily one of the worst points in time to ever be in the community. So let me set the scene, at least from my perspective, since that's really the most accurate perspective I can give you all on my end. Things were honestly going quite swell between us and the rest of our friends until one fateful day swept across the calendar. That day being September 14th, where in the SCC courthouse, a conflict resolution server, there was a call to put Ephraim to task for mismanaging the courthouse and mishandling how to approach the victims of known groomer V Omega. It was then when former commentator Jace took the reins of courthouse. Then, a little span of time I have oh so affectionately referred to as Hell Week started, which was from September 14th to September 21st. In this span of time, Olivia began to start stirring the pot with Ephraim and Lio Convoy, basically trying to isolate and kick them both out of the community because Lio saw the mistreatment that Livy was putting Ephraim through. She did this by manipulating everyone in her private server, which had over half the CC at the time, by using people's triggers against them in order for them to be poisoned against Lio and Ephraim, and twisting their words despite them literally being written. The stress was so fucking bad, we were constantly feeling on edge and paranoid as well as angry. I remember barely getting any sleep, maybe 1 or 2 hours most of the day, and mind you, I had a job at the time, and I just got hired too, so it was incredibly hard to figure shit out, whilst having to manage an entire stockroom whilst no one else did anything and delegated everything to me, and then also being terrified about what was going on while I was working in the CC. This all reached a terrifying boiling point at the night or early morning of September 20th or 21st. Before this, we kinda need to segue into something really important, and probably the most personal I've gotten here on this channel, like, fucking ever. So, that same day that Ephraim was put on the hot seat in the courthouse, or the day after, an VC in Olivia's private server happened, where it was me, Arab, Olivia, Donnie, Vaporwave, and Daisy Foxtrot. I can't fully recall why the call got heavy in subject matter, but it was where I had divulged why I had my trigger about suicide. Content warning for suicide and emotional and mental abuse. So when I was in high school, around 16 or 17 I think I was dating this one girl who I'll be referring to as X, Things went well for her on the first month, and then after, it became horrific. How so? Well, to put it all concisely, she gaslit me by starting arguments and then making it seem like I was the one who started it, and then she called me crazy. Sorry. She would constantly insult and degrade me, and every time I would say I was leaving, she threatened to kill herself. Sometimes, she would even punish me whenever I tried to leave by threatening to kill herself multiple days in a row during the summer break on the phone, keeping me up for 2 or 3 days straight at a time. It was torture. And during the midst of all of this, she had been cheating on me with a guy who was 13 who lived in the US while we were in junior year, so grade 11. I found out because she had the audacity to put me in a group chat they see with him, and to which she introduced me to him as her boyfriend, despite dating me still. And when I had pointed this out, I said I was done, and she rage quit at the call. It was then when I asked the kid his age, and it was then when I was revolted and horrified at this discovery. X then basically used Darvo tactics on me by getting their friends to relentlessly harass me in person and online. Pretty much no one listened to me for a while until a few months later when I was able to tell my side of the story and such. And then a month later in May, X killed herself by hanging. My school had a memorial thing back then for her. I didn't go. I got blamed by her friends and got told that I didn't fight hard enough to keep her alive. And then I let her die, and that it was all my fault. I remember crying a fuck ton whilst telling this, and Olivia, as well as the others mentioned, comforted me. Now, I know that was a fucking lot, but please put a pin in this, I beg of you. So, that awful night, or early morning of September 20th or 21st. So, that night, Olivia announced in her server that she had tried to attempt suicide. I and various others in the server were in VC with her trying to convince her out of it. During this, I had one of the most violent, as in severity, mental breakdowns I had in a long time. I was so worried I'd lose somebody I cared about and had feelings for at the time again. Hours later, and she calmed down, but she had also successfully further poisoned me against Lio and Ephraim. It was then when I was asked to look over a god-awful message she did where she thinly veiled Lio for her attempted suicide. And with my mind still rattled and my hatred boiling, I didn't properly look it over. I felt and still feel like such a piece of shit for it. I told the staff in the SCC courthouse, Aaron Tempest and Autumn Kohai, back in December after the 23rd call. They weren't mad at me. They understood. Of course, you would think I wouldn't have talked to her again after all of this, after she got revealed to be a liar the next day. But no. I stupidly forgave her in October for what she did to me. And then the December 23rd call happened, where it was revealed she covered for a fucking predator. Said predator being former commentator Liquid Ooze, back in 2023, in the Cloud Palace. Now, would you all like to know what makes this fucking worse? Do y'all remember what I asked you to put a pin in? You know, the whole reason why I have a trigger regarding serious discussions and instances of suicide? Well, it clearly hadn't have been that long for it to have been forgotten, given how she literally used other people's triggers to manipulate them for her fucking scheme that she oh so meticulously planned. You know what else? The method she used, which was choking herself out, was with her bare hands. And it wouldn't have worked, because your hands would naturally let go to protect herself from asphyxiation. And given how her statement thinly veiled blaming Lio, I think the proof is right there. That she fucking used my PTSD for her own benefit and at my expense! Sorry. And you thought that was bad? Oh, it gets fucking worse. As revealed to me by Arab and temporal DSC, she had feelings for me. Yup. Just listen to this. She did this while apparently loving me! And probably damn well knew I felt the same because I was not fucking subtle. In any case, though, this is all my testimony has to offer. Now, on to addressing some things she said about me, or done to me publicly, or to others, so I can set the record straight now that I have a voice to clock this fucking bitch. So, regarding the voice message she decided to put in one of her Twitter crash outs, yeah, no, I shouldn't have told her to sit on the thorniest cactus and spin. That shit was a tad unhinged. That being said, though, this message was sent not even an hour after the courthouse call on December 23rd happened, which revealed some truly horrific shit about her. Namely, of course, that she covered for a predator. So I sounded angry and crazed because I just was. Now, I'm more or less saying all of this as the reason why I sent that voice message, and why I said what I said. This is not a justification. And to restate, I disavow telling her to sit on the thorniest cactus and spin. But also, Olivia, nice to call me insane. You know, the person who has depression, ASD, anxiety, PTSD, and DID. You ableist reptilian piece of shit! And also for what? Me having emotion in my voice for being angry and sad? Fuck off! That all being said, she also tried to claim that I was purposefully dead-naming her to Rin, when she literally never made it clear that Umbris was a dead name. Furthermore, she also never told me that it was fucking V Omega who came up with that handle. She told me in a VC months prior that it was in reference to the Pokemon Umbreon. So, wow, thanks for lying to me, and then lying to Rin to make it seem like I was purposefully dead-naming and triggering you, you dishonest fucking snake. Now, you might be wondering what event caused this Twitter meltdown in particular, so let's get into that, shall we? So, around January 15th or 16th, I decided to try and revive her old commentary group Purely Odd Grandmasters for two reasons. One, and I'm perfectly fine admitting this, it was out of spite. And two, the more important reason, I wanted to give people the ability to reclaim the groupage space they cared about away from a manipulative, abusive piece of shit. This caused her to crash out and hurt my friends Jace, Sparrow, and Call, all of which weren't even involved in the Pog revival and my decision to revive Pog. She framed them dishonestly as harassers when she herself hurt all of them pretty fucking badly. Now, do I regret the decision to try and revive Pog? Yes. But not for me taking somebody else's channel, but more for the fact that Olivia used it as a means to attack other people I cared about who weren't even involved directly in that situation. Olivia, if you are watching this, I have but one request. I ask you to leave me the fuck alone. I have not said or done anything else that was instigative in nature that was petty in a long while. You have already damaged me beyond belief, and you are lucky that I wasn't let on as a speaker during the December call, because you would have never heard the fucking end of me. I also don't want an apology from you either, fuckmouth, because I also don't think there is so much as a microcosm of sincerity in any action or any words you say. Fuck you, Olivia Delilah Salmon, and crawl back to your cave, you fucking lizard bitch. I will forever hate you. Even long after I die, I will continue to hate you. And now the whole world knows who you fucking are, you abusive piece of shit! Yeah, and also, go support the people who have posted their Blue Sky threads below documenting their history with Souvlivvy. Have a nice day. Except you, Liv. Fuck you.